is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, scores of educators on Grand Bahama attending the annual enrichment seminar at the Jack Hayward Gymnasium today in preparation for the new academic year. Teachers and administrators on Grand Bahama receiving their charge as they prepare for the start of the new school year. Associate Vice President of the College of the Bahamas Northern Campus, Ella Johnson Denard, focused on equity in education.
I want you to remember that one of the dimensions in equity in education is fairness. Teachers and administrators, we must be fair to all of our children. The second dimension in equity in education is inclusion, and I've heard reference to it earlier this morning. That inclusion means making sure that there is a basic minimum standard of education for all students.
She told the educators that they must be concerned about every child, no matter their learning ability.
Students with ADD, attention deficit disorder, and I'm sure you all know the acronym, and ADHD should not be categorized as unteachable. Yes, they are teachable. You simply have to teach them differently because they learn differently.
The COB executive added that performance involves effective teaching and learning.
Effective teaching does not mean giving students a lot of assignments just to keep them quiet. And then, to add insult to injury, not even take a look at what the child has done. Performance requires that our teacher share with our students relevant information that will help that student to live a productive life.
Deputy Director of Education on Grand Bahama, Sandra Edgecombe, also addressed the educators at today's forum.
When you're teachers, you don't have to have all of the answers. Administrators, until you get to Heaven Primary and Heaven High, there are no perfect schools. Until we rub shoulders with the angels, and some of us can have difficulty with that, because we like honey and our wings don't fit and we don't like gold on the streets. Until we get to those two schools, then there is no perfect school, and they come with their challenges and they come with their difficulties. And if you're not prepared to paddle up the creek, even with a leak in your canoe, then speak now.
Well, as educators prepare to welcome students back to the classroom come September 1st, parents are also faced with preparing their children to return to school. This is a time that is usually stressful for many, and in light of this, President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Peter Pinder, has this bit of advice for parents.
I believe that if parents would spend more on things that are needed and less on things that are not needed, they will be in a much better position. My advice to parents would be to budget their monies in such a way that they take all these things into consideration, because there are too many people who, when the need is there, do not have the funds to satisfy those needs. And sometimes it's because they just can't do any better, but many times it's because they've not handled their finances adequately enough.
The leader of the Christian community is also advising young people heading back to school to stay focused.
I believe if parents and teachers can convince our young people that this is their opportunity to work hard, to grow and develop, it would make a significant difference. Sometimes young people at this stage, you're not fully aware of the significance of why you need to prepare yourself or why you need to study. But I can assure you that in years to come, you're going to wish that you had done a better job at preparing yourself, because life is hard out there for people who are not prepared and who are not qualified.
With thousands of people seeking medical care locally every year, the efficiency of the Accident and Emergency Department is critical. With that in mind, the Rand Memorial Hospital hosted a 3-day course, and the focus is to build a stronger triage system. Shashina Roll reports.
We all know what it's like to visit any A&E department at any hospital and have to wait hours sometimes before being seen by a doctor. While 35 medical professionals here on Grand Bahama are now participating in a certified triage course. The aim of this course is to improve customer satisfaction and ensure that patients are seen in a timely fashion. Nearly 50 to 55,000 persons visit the A&E section annually at the Rand Memorial Hospital. With this enormous patient load and limited staffing, Clinical Director of the Accident and Emergency Department, Dr. Michelle Sweeting, says efficient service is of utmost importance.
You just can't see first come, first serve. Definitely you will miss something severe and could end in death. Or worse, the person is alive and can't take care of themselves. So having a very basic, functional triage system in place, that tends to help us to weed out, to look for the red flags, to see who is the more severe person, who is in need of our care immediately.
This course includes 35 persons from the medical field.
Registered nurses from the A&E department, 8 physicians, and I think 9 from the A&E department. From the community health, we have 3 registered nurses, including the CD, the clinical director of the community health. And then a lot of the times we tend to rely on nurses from other areas in the hospital to do sessional in the A&E, because as I say, we are challenged with limited staffing. And so we have gotten registered nurses who do sessionals in A&E to also take a part in this triage certification course.
This triage course is being conducted under the tutelage of the founder of Health Resources Unlimited from Tennessee, USA.
The course content will help the nursing and physician staff understand what these red flags are and help to develop a system that will work here for the community that they serve.
Now, organizers say this is not a one-time training course. These courses will continue to ensure that quality standards are maintained. Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news after this.